Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are going to be creating a heart inspired by mosaics. To create our heart, you're going to want a piece of paper, a pencil, some crayons, and some watercolors. If you don't have those materials today, that's okay. You can use other materials too. To get started, I am going to be folding my paper in half, hot dog style, so it is long and skinny. I start my crease in the middle and I work my way out. Then I'm going to draw a half of a heart. I'm going to start with a big bump, kind of like a rainbow line, and then I'm going to curve it around and bring it to a point. There is my half of my heart. Next, I'm going to lay out some horizontal lines going from the edge of my heart to the middle. Now I'm going to be making some diagonal lines coming from the edges to the middle. I'm meeting my diagonal lines at the edge and bringing them also to meet in the middle. The shapes that I am creating are called polygons. They are shapes with multiple sides and angles. Alrighty, now I've created some cool polygon shapes that are going to imply that mosaic feel in my artwork. I started with pencil so I could erase if I made mistakes. I'm going to be tracing over those lines with a crayon. You can pick whatever color crayon you would like today. I think I'm going to go with blue since blue is my favorite color. So I'm going to trace over the lines, and when I'm tracing over the lines, I'm making that line really thick and really dark with my crayon, because that's going to help me later when I do watercolors. It's also going to help me later when I do a special trick for transferring my crayon lines over to the other side of my paper. So I'm tracing over all of those lines, and I'm pressing nice and hard with my crayon, so that line is very noticeable, it's very thick, it's very dark. Alrighty, now, special trick time to transfer these lines so that my heart is perfectly symmetrical on either side of my central line. I'm going to open up my paper and then I'm going to fold it in half the other way so that my drawing is on the inside of my fold. I'm going to make my nice crease. And you can kind of see those lines through my paper. To transfer, I'm going to flip it over so that my crayon side is on the side that I'm pressing on. I am going to trace over my lines, pressing with my pencil, and as I'm doing that, I am pressing that crayon mark into the other side. That's going to help make sure that my marks are symmetrical, that they're the same on either side of this central line. So I'm pressing pretty hard with my pencil so it's making a nice dark mark on my paper, and that's helping me to transfer my crayon marks over. Alrighty, let's open it up and see if we were successful. Well, look at that! Most of my lines transferred. The ones that didn't, I have a pretty good guess at where they are because of the lines that did transfer. So then I can finish drawing my heart with my crayon, tracing over those marks that I transferred over using our special magic trick. Cool. Now I have a symmetrical heart with those polygon shapes, implying that mosaic feel. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to be painting with watercolors. As we are painting, I would like you to think of the color group that you are going to work with. So I started with blue, so I might stick to my cool colors, green, blue, and purple, because those colors are all kind of jive together. They're going to work together well as a color family. To get started, I am going to get my brush wet. Then I'm going to add a drop of color to a drop of water rather, to the color I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with blue today. So I've got some drops of water there, and then I can just start painting in my spaces. One thing to remember when we work with our watercolors is that wet colors are going to bleed, they're going to blend together. So you might want to think about that as you are painting today if you don't want your colors to mix together. If your brush is making a scritchy scratchy sound, it's saying, hey, I'm thirsty. I need some more paint and some more water. Remember that as we paint with our paintbrush, we're dancing it around on its tiptoes. We're not squashing around on our bottom. That's going to help make sure that our paintbrush ballerina's bristles stay nice for a long time. When I want to switch colors, I am going to swish my brush in my water cup, kind of rubbing it on the sides of the cup. Then I swipe it on the lip. That helps make sure that my brush is rinsed out really well so that the colors in my paint palette stay the colors that they're supposed to be. I think I'm going to switch to purple, so I'm going to add some drops of water to purple, and then I'm going to start painting in some of the spaces. Anytime that I've got wet colors next to each other, they're going to do what's called bleeding or running together. They'll kind of mix together, but that might be kind of a fun effect to work with in our artwork. And if my brush is making scritchy scratchy sounds, it's saying, hey man, I'm thirsty. I need some more paint and some more water. And remember that fun wet on wet technique. You can see in some of these areas my paint has kind of started to bleed or run together, which is kind of fun. I'm going to rinse my brush out real quick, and I'm going to switch to my final cool color, green, for the rest of my paper. Alrighty, so for cleanup today, you're going to want to give your brush one final good swish in the cup, swipe on the lip to make sure that it's clean, it doesn't have excess water in it. Your watercolors and paintbrush and painting are going to go to a safe spot to dry. We are going to be wiping down our table space so that there's no paint residue on it. We are going to be putting our water cups in the sink to dump them out and rinse them out. And then if you're somebody who is in the building with me, we're going to be putting it into our sanitizer bucket to make sure that it's clean for the next group of students to use. I can't wait to see what you create when you post your fabulous artwork on Seesaw.